I just told Herc that the whole episode is him making me lunch.
You got to work for that, Cass. You got to work for that, yeah?
No.
It doesn't just happen.
It's happening.
Yeah?
Welcome back to Sass with Cass. We are kicking off the 2025 season. 2025 is cute.
It's kind of ridiculous, right?
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in a very notable Parnell abode and garden with a man whose absolute passion for cooking, life, and creativity is utterly magnetic.
Magnetic, I love that, Cass.
From his
you're too good to me.
English roots to King's College and private chefing across the globe, working under head chefs like Ozone Cafes, London head chef, UK head chef.
Yes. He's a Kiwi?
He's a Kiwi?
Yeah, yep.
Well,
you've done your research on me, haven't
I
you?
have.
A little background check.
Herc's culinary journey is nothing other than remarkable. Boasting 298,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. We should have done this when I hit 300.
I
know.
literally
it's a
was
bit
like, can I
upsetting.
say 300?
Yeah, you can say say 300. We'll release it in a few weeks or something.
90,000 followers on TikTok, with videos garnering up to 5 million views and catching the attention of none other than Gordon Ramsay. It is safe to say that you have easily won the title of most beloved chef and creator in New Zealand and beyond.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
It is an
She's buttering me up. Hey, she's going to soften me up and get me open, just open, and then be like, all right, then going to hit me with the hard questions.
Oh, it's an honour to welcome you
No,
to
that's
the
very nice
Sass
of you,
with
Cass.
Mike.
Thank you.
Hercules Noble,
Pleasure to be here.
man with legend. Earlier I welcomed Herc to his own house. I was like, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'd be here anyway.
Yeah, I rushed back from the tennis to get here for the recording. She was like, oh, welcome in. I was like, yeah, cheers, mate.
So we actually know each other from back in the day. We actually go back a little bit. So we are ex-school colleagues.
Yes,
was-
colleagues.
Herc was a year older than me, so he's cooler than me.
Yeah. She was like the year below, used to look up to the cute guys in the years above, that's the way. No, we actually didn't really know each other at school, did we? We didn't really overlap, but you kind of know of everyone. And so our paths never really crossed at school, but knew of you and definitely kept up to date with what you were doing since. And I guess in the last couple of years, we've ran in similar circles, and now we're here doing this.
Well, social media, I think, brought us together, and shout out Odd and Outspoken Agency,
Yes.
signed to the same.
Big love, Antonia.
Big love, Antonia.
Yeah, big love,
Making
Antonia.
it
And Liz, Amanda, all the team.
So we rekindled them, which is really nice.
Yeah, no, social media, hey, it's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing.
Especially for that, to see what your friends from school are doing now, but also
know.
just to see what cool things are happening in the world. And yeah, you're doing some really awesome things as well, Cass.
Thank you.
So it's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you for being here. Okay, so take me back to little Herc.
Little Herc, how little are we talking?
6.
6-year-old Herc had just moved over from the middle of nowhere in the UK, actually, with my family, to Great Barrier Island, which...
Wow!
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
I did not know that.
Okay, she hasn't done her research, has she?
Fail.
Yeah, we moved over to Great Barrier Island, which was kind of ridiculous. My dad is Kiwi, my mum's English. So Dad wanted to come back and raise me here. And we spent a few years living on the barrier, which was quite a culture shock. But I loved it, you're walking around in bare feet. There's a school of 40 kids from year 1 to 8. But that was a beautiful experience. Then moved to Auckland, went through Parnell Primary, and then King's Prep briefly, which was my first private school, which was quite interesting. And then King's College, where we met. Yeah.
So when you think back to that time, and you think to the person you are today, were the traits that are in you now present then? Do you feel like you were creative? Were you interested in food?
I come from a family of creatives.
Right.
So I'm quite lucky in that respect. It runs in the blood. I'm dyslexic, I was awful at every subject in school besides, I could kick a ball in football and I could draw something, I'm decent at drawing, I'm creative, I'm dyslexic. So I kind of thought maybe I'd be somewhere in the creative realm.
In a creative field.
Yeah, but it was only once I actually dropped out of boarding from school,
Right.
from King's College, where I became a day boy, and that's when I watched Jamie Oliver and was like, I always enjoyed
the guy.
food. Yeah, like I enjoyed
the guy.
food in the back, when I was younger.
Yeah.
I remember I have memories of sitting next to the Aga, which is a traditional English oven.
Right.
And I'd sit next to it when I was younger, and Dad would sort of pull out a bit of spaghetti and be like, is it done, Herc? Like I have memories like that. But it was only sort of once I was maybe 17, 18, where I was like, oh, I actually really like food. So, yeah.
And that path revealed itself to you kind of naturally.
I'm so incredibly lucky that I found food.
Yeah, okay.
So incredibly lucky. Hey?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was like one of the top listener questions, and thank you so much for all your amazing questions for Herc. It was lots and lots and lots of them I got to filter through. And a really highly asked question was, how did you find your way into chefing?
Very lucky, stumbled upon it. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm very lucky quite a lot. Like I feel very grateful for how things have gone, and there was never a plan really for how this worked out. It just sort of happened. You just keep pushing, you take opportunities. But as I said, dropped out of being a boarder and became a day boy. It's just a regular student, and there I started watching Jamie Oliver's 15-minute meals when I got home from work, from school, and I loved it. I was like, I have to start trying some of these things. And I got a bit of a bug for it. You see something beautiful and you go, oh, I have to try and recreate that. And I'd cook for the family and I loved it. And then went to university very briefly, but while I was there, I had a couple of friends who enjoyed cooking as well.
Yeah.
We would do cook-ups together. And then I got a part-time job in a kitchen on my semester break.
Little on Friday.
Yeah. Can I jump to that?
Yeah.
And that was literally me for 3 weeks back up in Auckland. I was at university in Wellington. So I was here in Auckland and my mum took me to Little on Friday. It was our favourite cafe, and I remember being there, sitting in the corner with a coffee or whatever it was, and Mum said, "Look, there's the owner Kim. We know her. Go up and say to her, you want a job, a part-time job, or to do whatever you can for her while you're here, because you're here back in Auckland for 3 weeks and you're not sitting on my sofa doing nothing."
Go, Mum.
Yes, honestly, like I am so grateful to for Mum for that particular moment. Like I will never forget that moment. Pivotal. But I went up and she said, yeah, start tomorrow if you want. You can shadow a chef. And it was just for 3 weeks. I shadowed a chef for 2 weeks. And this was going from like university lifestyle, where you're literally at university, the first year of university, you're there for 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
You're doing bugger all, you're drinking a lot,
Yeah.
And then I took that break and went to Little Friday to work. And I was working from 5 or 6 a.m. every day for 12 hours minimum, shadowing a chef. And this was like, this is for me.
Yeah.
Which I was so lucky that I found it. So lucky.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, because even when you were speaking, I was just naturally thinking, how did you deal with what everyone knows is the lifestyle of a chef and the hours that you have to put in, especially with the juxtaposition of all your friends being at uni and partying.
I know, man. That was the hard part. Hey,
Yeah.
that was so hard because you're working 6 or 7 days a week.
It's a big commitment.
And your day off is like a stray Wednesday, and you're like, cheers, and you're just, that day is your recovery day. But I remember that all my mates at university, but a lot of them were out of town, in different universities. So that made it a bit easier. But God, I look back to that time now and I'm like, I could not do that again.
Yeah.
I worked in kitchens for 4 years. I could not do that again. Hey. So I'm very lucky I did do it.
So how old, so you were in the kitchens from 20?
From 18.
18
Yep.
to 22.
Yep, there you go.
And that's more like the nitty gritty, hands-on, practical things.
Yeah. Towards the end, like when I was my last job in Ozone, that was actually a really fun job. That was as a service chef, so you're on the line, and you're just plating loads of food up, which was beautiful. But the pressure of it was mad.
Are people mean to you, like Gordon Ramsay?
What do you mean?
Like, do they yell in kitchens?
Oh, yeah. There's this guy that there are some chefs. I always thrived under the chefs that were like, they would put their arm around you and be like, look, don't worry. Like I went through the shit. I'm going to take you through the shit with me.
A great teacher.
And that's what I loved about, that's the one thing I miss about working in kitchens is there's like the camaraderie. You're in the shit together. Now I'm in the shit by myself or just with my assistant, which I love. Like, but going back to that, like there was a specific chef that I worked for or worked with at Ozone who was a senior chef there, and he was not like super hard on me. Like, dude, there'd be way worse kitchens out there that I haven't worked in. But he would apply the pressure. Like it was not fun when you were under the pump and the docket line was like from the end of the table to the other, So, yeah, I have fond memories from it, and some were quite tough.
Do you just grow a thick skin from that, or did you have a strategy for how you were going to sharpen your mindset to put up with that amount of pressure?
I think it's almost like you get very used to it.
Right.
I could almost reference it to a relationship of sorts, where a relationship that starts off beautifully, and then you slowly start to like see issues and things like that. But you're like, oh, this person's so great. So
Honeymoon
you keep going.
phase.
Yeah, exactly. So you have the honeymoon phase where you're like, oh, this is exciting. I'm learning new food. You know, I'm working with new people in a new environment. I'm out on display in like on a service kitchen. This is cool. Everyone's watching it. Everyone on social media is being like, or your friends that are still at university being like, hell yeah, man, you're working in London doing that. And you're like, yeah, this is great. And then eventually you're worn down. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Some people do that their whole lives. I honestly don't know how. I don't know how. Yeah.
So what spurred the jump from, sorry, I'm jumping everywhere because I get so curious and like mindsets and yada yada. So you're at Little and Friday. Yes. And you've got this job, you're shadowing a chef.
Yep.
And you progressed up in Little and Friday,
Yeah, a bit. There weren't too many sort of ranks, I guess, to go through there. But yeah, you take on more and more responsibility with different positions. And I'm not going to say that like I did my 2 years on a Friday and I became the top dog or like mastered or anything. I did those 2 years. I moved up the ranks and took on more and more responsibility. I loved it. And then I was just looking for like a new challenge, I guess.
And so getting overseas with cooking, was that connected to social media, or was that
No. That was just entirely just through, pushing and trying new things. And yeah. And I guess, look, it's hospitality. Like, there are always positions going in hospitality.
True.
So, yeah, not hard to find a job, maybe hard to find a job in a good kitchen, sort of thing.
Jumping to it, and something I'm so interested to flesh out with you, like away from the cameras, away from everything. This is truly just a question that...
Yeah. All right, turn the cameras off,
cutting the whole thing. That I find so interesting is your journey on social media.
Okay.
And I mean, to the outside world, this looks like an overnight success.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. I don't work hard at all.
Would you describe it that way, or what do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, I totally understand how things can look like an overnight success. We're very aware of what we're doing and numbers and things like that. But people on the outside, you might see my videos for 6 months and then you go and somehow you stumble across my profile again. You're like, what the hell? Where did this come from? But yeah, it's been a journey, but I love it.
Because I remember we had a chat when you just started. We were out one night and you were like, talk to me about this. What's the reality?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Oh my God. We were. I completely forgot that. We were up in Queen. Yes.
And it was right back at the beginning of your journey.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
And
I love that.
I remember you had 4,000 followers or something like that.
Yeah.
And to think of where you are now. Well, I mean, like, talk to me about it. Like, what led you to the decision that you wanted to take social media seriously? Did you just discover that? Did you think of that? Was that strategic? Was it something that just happened?
I naturally sort of fell into it, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't want a bit of social media clout. Like, I think everyone does. I'm not going to be...
How good's attention?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be... And I was like 25, I think, or something. So, like, I'm not going to sit here on my high horse and be like, I just did it because I love food. Like, I did it because I wanted some attention. I wanted to...
That answer.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and hide and sit on my high horse. Then, do you want to know, like, when sort of...
So you were just on Instagram?
I was just on Instagram and I would share maybe, I was early stages of what I'm doing as a private chef.
Yeah.
So I'd share little videos like that. During lockdown, the original lockdown, early 2020.
Lockdown.
The OG lockdown.
The original lockdown.
Yeah, 2020, end of summer 2020. Yeah. I started sharing a bit more stuff on social media because I think I remember Instagram took away the like count.
Mm-hmm.
And I
hide like.
Yep. And I remember being like, now I don't need to worry if I share something and people don't like it. Because I used to
like, I'm on.
Yeah,
I'm sharing now.
And so I'd put it out there and be like, I don't give a shit. Which was like, it was liberating,
Yeah.
And so, because you're so, like, I don't know, not so much anymore, but I used to be very terrified of what I would put out there. And people maybe that I knew from school or I'd worked with, whatever, and people being like, look at you trying to do that, or like putting videos out and no one's liking it or no one's commenting, things like that. So I used to be scared of that, and then got to a point where slowly over time stopped caring so much.
Yeah.
And I started putting things out, and for 2 years I put things out. I got a little bit of growth. There was like 5,000 or something in a year or two, which is, at the time I was like, hell yeah, that's cool. Like, and you start getting a little bit, like people start sending you a little PR package or something. You're like, what? That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I just was, and I slowly thought more and more about it. I was like, holy shit, like social media is an incredible thing, and I can use it as a career path, but I can also use it as, the way I look at it now is it's free advertising for what I do.
Totally.
So I'm going to keep putting lots of content out there. It was only once I sat down and thought, what can I do that's different, is when things took a big jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you mentioned about being concerned of the amount of comments and likes and I guess essentially what people think of you.
Mm-hmm.
And to anybody listening out there who might look up to what you do in the respect that they want to start sharing their recipes or their food, or maybe they just want to share their own content.
Yeah.
How did you dim that light switch of caring about what people think, caring about the perception, caring about the likes? Was it just something over time?
Yeah, it doesn't go from one end of the spectrum to the other, just like that. But what I think I can tell you is that no one gives a shit as much as you. No one is looking at your content or your followers or your engagement as much as you. No one actually gives a shit. If you want to start putting stuff out there, put stuff out there. People are going to see it once, forget about it, whatever. So try things, is what I'm saying, I guess. Yeah.
I think I saw something about the algorithm, and now you have to post something 3 times on your story for 40% of your audience to see it. That's how few people it's missing.
Really?
So,
How recent is that though?
I don't know, but I think there's something to be said for, like, often I remember being so petrified to just post one thing. And it's like, well, 90% of people probably aren't even seeing that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, get over yourself a bit.
Yeah. A little pivot. Funnily enough, with the whole story thing, I've noticed this, but I haven't actually said it to anyone yet.
Yeah.
If I post one singular Instagram story, and it's not an ad, it's just a photo of some food I've cooked or something beautiful, way more people will see it.
Yes.
Way more people will see it.
Yes.
So if I post something and I post something 2 hours later, it goes right down. So what I've started doing is I've just gone, I try and keep it just to one post.
Wow.
And like 5 times more people will see it. Like,
I know, what is that? Is it because they're clicking through more slides?
Yeah,
maybe?
probably, yeah. So if you've got just one slide up, I don't know, more people see it. But at home, try that.
Try just do one
honestly,
slide.
try just do one slide. See how many people view a story in 24 hours time, as opposed to if you post just 2 or even more,
So how much credit are we giving the sourdough for your shot to success on social media?
Yeah, like 90%, 99%.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
Well, as I got more and more confident and I was trying different videos and things, and you're like, excuse the term, but you're throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks.
Yeah.
And I was making videos going, this is how I make my steak, this is how I make my scrambled eggs. But let's say you wanted to learn how to make really nice scrambled eggs, and you opened TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, and you said, scrambled egg, best recipe, whatever. Why the fuck would you look at my one when it says Hercules Food and I have 5,000 followers, when you can see Jamie Oliver's one, or you can see Gordon Ramsay's one, or Andy Hearn's one, Thomas Straker's one, whatever. Like, they've all done it.
Why would we
They
go
have a
with
big
her?
name.
Yeah.
So why do we give a shit about what Herc is producing? We don't really. He might make decent enough quality, and but there's already 100, 1,000, tens of thousands of other creators doing the same thing, who already have a following, probably better than you.
Yep.
So I thought, what can I do that's different?
Cool.
And that was where the sourdough video came from.
What was your first sourdough?
I think.
Do you remember it?
I think it was. I remember, like, because the style of it has developed quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think it was an almond croissant one, which was quite a good way to start. Yeah, but it was 100% the sourdough stuff, because that's different.
Yeah.
No one was really doing that.
And that's what picked up.
100%, yeah. And you slowly fall upon how you shoot it all. I started doing way more ASMR, and that is what really got it going. Because, and you know what's so funny? I was on a trip back.
not guess that.
No, I was on a flight back from Sydney, and I didn't have time to record a voiceover or put music or anything on. I was
So
like,
you whispered?
and I was like, no speaking. I mean, ASMR is in like just the sounds.
Oh.
You know, like the dough, the stretching, like cutting things up, all that. And I posted it, and it was like a Biscoff one maybe that got like 1 million views, and I was like,
Wow.
what? And so I was like, right, I found it. Rinse and repeat. I've got a formula. No one else is doing this. Let's go.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, so funny, hey. But you try things, and you try, and you try.
Yeah.
And then you also think, wait, what is no one else doing? What can I do that's a bit unique? Yeah. You can do a podcast and be like really basic.
Totally.
You know? And it's just like, yeah, mate, there's already loads of other people doing that.
Yeah.
But or you can do sass with Cass. Do you know what I mean?
Sass with Cass. Yeah, one question I was going to ask you is, what are your top 3 tips that you would give someone who wants their content to blow up, but I really like that point of like, what's your difference?
Yeah,
what can you think of that's different?
Stop giving a shit. What
Stop
other people think. Don't do it. That doesn't mean don't do anything weird. You know, like
Do things.
yeah. What is your point of difference?
What's your point of difference?
I don't know. Maybe I'll think on the third one.
So did your following jump up rapidly, or was it like a steady growth? Were there videos you were putting out, you'd load your page, you had 50k more followers? How did that work?
There have been about 10 that have gone really well. I've done 60 episodes of this. There have been 10 that have gone really, really well. And in amongst there are ones that have gone between 100, and then there are ones that have got 100,000, and then there are ones that have got between, you know, maybe like the average is between 200 to sort of 400k views for a bullet sourdough video, which is so great.
Wow.
And then yeah, it's just I noticed growth. Probably when there's a video that's going really well, you're constantly getting followers from that and likes from that and comments and things like that, and then you're also.
And you've got a video that's going well.
You've got a video that's going well, yeah.
Lots of followers.
Yeah, and when you've got 3 or 4 or 5 videos going really well, I was at points waking up and being like, oh shit, I've gone up 5k today. That's wild, you know? Or I had people messaging me, were like, are you buying followers and things like that? And I was like, no, it's just I've landed on something that's working, and it's going.
Were people like sharing your content to
Yeah.
their story?
Yeah, it's the nicest thing, man.
Because
I
feel
love
like
seeing.
that's so massive for social growth is when you're getting shared like that.
Yeah, so that there we go. That is the third tip.
Yeah.
The third tip is obviously make something different, but it's also the third thing is like give people a reason to engage. You know, so one of the videos that I did was a carbonara sourdough.
Yes.
And that was, I think, one of the first ones that went really well. And I was so surprised when I had all these Italians in the comment section being like, this, because I made, you know, I'm not sitting here being like, this is how you make a carbonara and I'm going to put it in sourdough.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I've got a free half a day now. Oh, I've got some pancetta in the fridge. Oh, I've got parmesan.
Yeah.
I've got eggs here. Let's make a carbonara sourdough. That's a really fun idea. And I do it. And then people comment and go, this motherfucker isn't using guanciale, which is like pork cheek meat. Instead, he's using pancetta. That's wrong. He's using parmesan instead of pecorino. That's wrong. So you're giving people a reason to engage. And I'm not inciting outrage, but I'm giving people a reason to comment. And then you have people replying to the comments
Good or bad,
being
by the way.
good or bad, yeah, but not
bad, but more negotiation.
Yeah.
Opinionated.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like when we're not out here trying to incite violence or encourage people to do anything bad. You're literally just here being like, I'm going to put pancetta in here, so these guys are going to get a tiny bit upset and be like, and feel the need to comment and engage. So I noticed that with that video. Yeah.
I love the mention of violence in reference to making carbonara. Like that feels like a natural yes.
Yeah, no,
violence could come from carbonara making.
Yeah. I'm actually banned from Italy, which is a shame now. So I can't.
Are you seriously?
No, of course not.
I'm so gullible. You could tell me anything and I'm like, you're kidding. Okay, so
which is so upsetting because I love it so much.
Herc's recipe for social media success. Don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Give people a reason to engage.
Yep.
And
then the last one is do something different. What is your point of difference?
Okay, so Herc's formula, recipe for success, social media success. Number 1, do something different. What are you doing that's different? What can you think about that will make you stand out? Number 2, who cares about anybody's opinions, likes, comments, or what anyone would think of you from school or anywhere? Get your stuff out there.
Yeah, no one cares as much as you. No one's paying as much attention as you.
100%. And number 3, give people a reason to engage.
Yes.
Positive or
A little bit of negative.
A little bit of opinionated. Give people a reason to have a voice on what you're doing.
Yes.
I love that. What a great formula for success. That's really, really cool.
And that's not me being like, that's the only way to do it.
No,
it's just,
this
that's
is
how
about
I
you.
find
It's
my,
your episode about you.
No one, there's not like one way to do everything,
No.
you know? Like, it's just, this has worked for me, so I'm going to share that little bit of knowledge.
But I think there's so many people out there who have businesses or they have a passion and they relate to that story of what you just said of they're in their version of the 4 years in the kitchen. So they're in their version of the grind or the moment they're looking for that freedom or that boost, and social media can be that for so many people. And to see yourself find a formula that works, I think it's really valuable for everyone out there to know kind of what made it kick. I'm also really interested because when I started seeing your content, I actually thought you had a full borderline production team.
Oh, really?
I thought you had a proper...
that's a nice thing to say, though.
A proper videographer, a proper situation, and I mentioned it to someone.
Why do you have Leighton behind the camera?
Yeah,
hey?
Leighton.
Yeah, you're out the job,
Leighton.
mate. You're redundant.
I was like, he's got to have help with this. But was it just... Did you have help with it, or was it just you?
Just me.
Just you?
Just me. No, I've
It's
had...
so well filmed, Herc.
That's really very nice of you. Yeah, I've had help with it now. I've taken someone on for the last 2 months, a great friend of mine who is a fantastic chef, but also a fantastic videographer. So he's coming on and helping me with that, which is
It's great.
fantastic. Yeah, take some weight off the shoulders.
100%.
Yeah, but no,
But on the come up, it was just you.
Yes, yeah. I shoot everything in
Wow.
that corner there. I have a
can see
ring
the
light.
corner.
I have a big, you know, one of those big lights. I don't know what it's called, studio light.
Studio light.
And I shoot everything on iPhone. The only improvement I made inside the last 6 months is I've gotten a microphone to make the ASMR even better. So I put the microphone right there when I move this, and you can really hear it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that much crisper. You can't hear the birds so much in the background. It's all that sort of stuff.
And it's
Yeah.
filmed on an iPhone or a camera?
It's filmed on an iPhone.
What iPhone?
Up until 3 months ago, it was just an iPhone 14 Pro Max. Now it's an iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Well,
Camera's pretty much the same, except you can pause it, which is great.
I have this theory that the older cameras on iPhones are better. I do. I have, honestly, all my friends will laugh.
About that.
Really? I have this iPhone, it's...
I got this iPhone 6 that's like incredible.
No, I have one from 2018 and we call it the content phone. 'Cause we
Really?
just take all the content on it.
Wow. Hey, you know, whatever works.
But you're
for
filming
you.
sourdoughs and not me with my full makeup done. You need more high res. I'm trying to avoid all res.
Oh, I hear
I'm like,
you.
knock all the res down, blur the whole thing. That's so funny. Okay, well, I've got a couple listener questions.
Yep.
About social media. Firstly, how has growing a following of your size quickly affected your self-esteem and ego? And is that something you're aware of?
Yes, for sure.
Answer, he has a head that's not.
Yeah.
Most humble person of all time.
No, I can give you that. So again, my mum again. Occasionally, you know, like I live very close to my parents, my whole family actually. My mum will catch me walking with a bit of a swagger or...
Stop.
Yeah, and my mum will call me out on shit. And that's so great.
Oh my God, I love your mum.
Yeah, she's honestly fantastic, hey. So lovely, but
What, so
also
she's
like
like
kind of
back
hard.
down to earth?
Well, she's just a bit like, you're walking with a swagger, Herc, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, like maybe I didn't realize that so much, or you look a bit like too cool on your story that you posted there, or you shouldn't say that, Herc. You just, you know, maybe that comes across as a bit too privileged or something like that. So, or not everyone gets to do these amazing things that come with, you know, a bit of success on social media. So I find myself constantly trying to bring myself back down to earth and just be like, I'm just a normal dude. I think I just want to be a nice person. I just want to, I don't want to be like, I respond to nearly all my DMs, you know, like when I get downtime, I'll sit there and I'll commit like 2 hours and just go through the last like 2 weeks of messages. I'll scroll all the way back, I'll go through all my head of messages, and if it's someone being nice, being like, hey, how can I start, how, you know, or can I have some advice, I'll send them a voice message and be like, hey man, you know, how can I help out, this with this. Some people are like, what's your sourdough recipe? And I'm like, or,
Wow, that's tough.
and you're just a bit like, oh, well, you know.
Yeah.
So I try.
There's a reason it's a secret stuff.
Yeah. You have to subscribe for that.
Me now. So what is, it's like the SpongeBob Krabby Patty recipe?
The secret formula.
What is the secret formula? So when we get down to the real stuff. No, I love that about your mum.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
so
she's
cool.
great. She's great.
What do your parents do? You said they were
Yep.
creatives.
Dad's an architect, mum's interiors. They work together.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's really, really
Yep.
cool. Wow,
Hence the crazy ass house,
it's a beautiful
full of all sorts of
beautiful
stuff.
house. It is. The other very asked question was what inspired you
No,
to be a food
I'm not going
creator?
to comment on my relationship. All right, Cash. Like,
That's coming. It's a whole note. No.
Go on.
What inspired you to be a food creator?
as I said,
Yeah,
a little bit of clout. I'm going to be open with
I
that.
love that.
You know, a little bit of clout, but also it's leading me down a road where I can advertise what I'm. It's free advertising, as I said. I can promote myself.
Yeah.
What I do. I make the sourdough videos. Cool. More people see me. Oh, he's also a private chef. You know, so I've shared those videos as well. And yeah, I just realized that. Look, like I work incredibly hard as a chef alone, so getting a bit of a following on social media helps build your profile. Therefore, more people around the world go, hey, we want you to cook for us because you've got X amount of followers on social media, or you've got a big name somehow, and you know, so yeah, it's just,
Yeah,
it's like building your reputation.
100%.
Yeah.
Social media can get a really bad rep.
Big time.
Big time. Could you comment on your opinion on social media, what it's kind of done for you, and if it's opened more doors and opportunities versus had a negative impact?
Oh, nah, man. Like, there's no negative impact for
Yeah.
me. As humans, generally, 9 things go really well, and then there's the 10th thing, which is negative, and we're like, oh, the 10th thing, oh,
Yeah.
that's really upsetting. So, yeah, you get a little bit of pushback on social media. Someone might say that the steak I've cooked looks like shit, whatever. But, like, don't get upset about that. It's different for a lot of people. I'm not, if someone says, oh, you look silly in that dress, I understand how that might hurt people's feelings, for sure.
Yeah.
That's not the sort of content that I'm doing. I'm not
Yeah.
putting myself out like that.
Such
But
an
also,
interesting point too.
yeah, but when someone does say something negative and you think, oh, that's a bit unwarranted, like if it's someone keeping me in check, maybe I go, oh,
Yeah.
you know, I take that on, I appreciate that. But if it's someone giving you a negative comment, you just go, oh, like, whatever, man. And there are so many other people out here who are saying, oh, we love your content and you're inspiring me to do this or try this. And you go, hell yeah, that's so cool.
Do you think it's opened a lot of doors for you
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and connected you with people and opportunities?
Yeah. Like I'm in different countries at different
Because
times
of it.
because of social media.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Is there an opportunity
Yeah.
or a moment, maybe a brand deal, a photo shoot?
Yes, I hear
Is
you.
there a favourite
Yeah.
connection or partnership or door that opened from social media that really stands out in your brain?
Yes, there's sort of 2 things, I guess, that instantly come to me. I'm not saying these are the top things, but
Success with Cass podcast.
the first would be probably a working relationship with a company where they were like, hey, we want to sign you on for a contract, not just like, hey, can you promote our product here, but can you actually sign up for us with 6 months for 6 months? And that was early on. That was probably 2 or 3 years ago.
It's very cool.
And you're like, what? That's incredible. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool. And then you're suddenly, you know, it might not be too much,
Yeah.
but you're making a little bit of money from it. And you're like, what? That's incredible. And then a more recent one actually is a car sponsorship, which is
I know I was going to say that if you didn't
which
say
is
that.
just the most
Herc's
like
cars outside.
it's so ridiculous. Like, so
Yeah.
can I tell you the story about how it happened?
Herc
So-
has a big car outside with his name on it. That's the story.
It's so funny. Long story short, I was traveling in the middle of the year for work. I got a contact from Antonia, our agent, and she said, Herc, I'm going into a meeting. I need you to sign an NDA. It's with a car company. They want to potentially work together. And I was like, what? That's cool. Hell yeah. 2 days later, she calls and says, I'm about to go into the meeting, I'll give you a call in like 2 hours time. She came out and she was like, holy shit, can you bleep this?
Yeah.
Because you know.
Oh, I
just,
swear, you don't need to worry about it.
Cool.
It's an explicit.
Yeah. She was like, want to work with you.
Wow.
And I was like what? You know,
Wow.
like how ridiculous, like that's where you look at social media and like, that is so incredibly absurd. And then they go, all right,
That's
Herc.
so amazing.
And they go, Herc, you're signed up for 6 months. If you do a good job, you go on more. Great.
Yeah.
So when an opportunity like that comes across,
Yeah.
you're like, what even is life?
Especially with a brand that notable, hey.
Really?
It's those
Yeah.
moments, you know, like you grew up looking at knowing like even
Yeah.
for me, I love the Formula One, like just a brand that
Yeah.
big, and for
Yeah.
social media to connect a personality
Yeah.
with something like
Yeah.
that. It's such a hard-hitting moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. You do not know where it's going to go. Fourth
Yeah.
tip from Herc, fourth bonus tip. Make a start on something and you don't have to know where it's going to lead. Just try things. You don't have to be like, in 4 years' time, I'm going to be working with X company. It is just try things and opportunities will come your way.
I love that.
Yeah.
Something I really live by in terms of manifestation is manifestation responds to speed.
Go on.
And so a lot of success can be attributed to people who have the idea and they action it quickly.
Yep.
So if you have the idea, don't think and ruminate and need this to be perfect for 12 months in this
Yes,
whole plan.
exactly,
It's
exactly.
like do it,
Yeah.
try it, move it, put it out there, tweak it when it's
Yeah.
out even.
Exactly.
And just like go and roll, and that's when you find momentum. And I think when you find that momentum, you've
Yeah.
got the wheel turning.
Yeah.
Things like and whatnot, that's when it comes in.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time, yeah. The sourdough video is a good example of that. I didn't know exactly how I was going to shoot it. I wasn't like, this is the exact formula, 100% it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
I made a start, you change a few things, and 10 episodes in, you stumble upon it and you've got it. You're away. So.
Have you had a moment with this whole thing and what's happened over the last few years? Have you had an I made it moment?
Yes, it's somewhat similar to the previous
Or
question.
like an I made it story?
So I was working again overseas in the middle of the year in France. It was a really fantastic job, and I got a message from someone. Let me go. No, a few months earlier. Okay. So I was shopping in a supermarket, and a friend called me out of the blue and was like, "Hey, do you know that Gordon Ramsay follows you?" And I was like what? Like that is so ridiculous. And he was like, yeah, check it. And I looked it up and I was like, that is utterly ridiculous. I was like, should I follow him back, I hit the follow back now. So I wish I screenshotted that, like Gordon Ramsay follow back option. Like one of the goats, like the top
100%.
tier goat, and so I was like, that's incredible. I was like, I have to make a beef Wellington sourdough. So I got all the ingredients there, came back, did it 2 days later, posted the video, got like an acknowledgement, like a love heart on a story to it or something from them. I was like, that's cool, that's so awesome, man. Fast forward 3 months, I get a message from someone on Instagram saying, check your TikTok. Gordon Ramsay just roasted you. And I was just like
How do
that.
you even feel in that moment? Like
It was,
Gordon Ramsay.
yeah, because you know how he does those videos? Like,
Yes.
yeah, he remixes the TikToks or the Reels, and it's just him like absolutely bashing me throughout, like having a bit of a laugh with it. And I just
It's
remember
such a good video, I watched it.
like I just like got a bit shaky. I was like, oh shit, okay, I pulled my phone out and like watched it, and I was like, I just couldn't believe it. Hey, it was one of those like, that is so ridiculous.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's like a person that you've looked up. Like I've watched Gordon Ramsay on TV from like MasterChef.
Yeah.
Since I was like probably
he's
16
like
or so.
household name.
Yeah.
Like whether you like food, you don't like food, you
Yeah.
know who Gordon Ramsay is.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually showed my dad that video.
Oh, really?
I remember being like, I went to school with this guy,
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
I often see your dad at events.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like, but you look familiar. Oh, you're Cass's dad. Yeah,
my dad is iconic.
Yeah, he is. He is. Yeah. Yeah. But another one was definitely when, like 2-3 months ago, I did something with Fraser, who's a fantastic creator, and he goes, "What's your dream?" And he sits you down and asks. And I said, I would love to meet Jamie Oliver one day, because and just literally say to him, "You're the reason why I'm doing this." And like to just meet him and chat to him. And that video went out like 3 or 4 weeks later, and like in the morning after, I had a message from Fraser being like, holy shit, Jamie. And I opened it up and it was like Jamie being like, big love, bro, and like give a follow and everything. I was like, it's just ridiculous, huh? You know, it's like what?
Yeah.
So yeah, those are some really cool moments. Hey.
I love those stories, and those are the moments where you feel the power of online. And what I love about online and social media is I feel like it makes the world feel like one room.
Yeah.
Which people could take in a really bad way, but I take it in a really positive way because it connects you with people who are in different universes almost.
Yeah.
It's so
that
cool.
you do not think are real people.
No.
And you're like.
And then they're replying to my beef Wellington sourdough.
It's so silly.
Yeah,
hey.
when you started putting steak in sourdough, I was like, this is where I'm drawing the line.
Well, see, that's where you're a bit like you're giving people reasons to try things or to comment, engage, and all that sort of stuff. So it's silly. Hey, yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
Favorite thing to cook? Super simple. It's so easy. People ask me this all the time. It's pasta.
Okay.
It's pasta. It's so fucking delicious. It's incredibly sexy to make for other people as well. So pasta is 100% my favorite. Making it from scratch as well. It's such like a pleasure. Yeah, it's. I mean,
I've had the pleasure of having that.
Yeah, in my back garden actually for an event a few weeks ago.
It's such a good answer, pasta.
Yeah, I mean, what's your favorite thing to cook, or what's your? I know you're a big fan of steak.
Huge steak girl.
Yeah.
Huge steak girl. I take that really seriously.
Oh yeah, I can tell.
In terms of like resting time,
Yeah.
prepping.
She's probably better at cooking a steak than me. Hey.
I get it from my dad.
Yeah.
Because my dad used to marinate them all day. He
Yes.
would always do like onions and garlic, and he'd take that really seriously.
That's a good hack. Yeah, that's a good hack.
And he's a big barbecue guy.
Hell
so
yeah.
every Christmas or family event, I had my dad on the barbecue, and it was like political.
Daddy
he's
grog,
got his, like,
grilling it up.
Stance, and like everyone brings their meat for Uber, and
yeah.
so I really am such a protein girl and such a steak girl.
Yeah.
But I also love making a good fish dish.
Lovely.
With
lovely.
like a nice sauce over the top.
Hashtag fish core.
Fish core.
Yeah.
Fish core is a massive trend for 2025.
Yeah,
and
I actually started it.
Came in wearing this shirt. I was like, you're hitting fish core.
Yeah.
Fisherman core.
What are they called? What does it say on the back?
La Crossia.
La Crossia. Sponsor me, yeah? You see what I'm doing for you here?
Can you give us some help here?
Go on.
For the average chef at home,
Yes.
for Cass who can make a steak and from that options are getting slim,
Yes.
how do you become a better at-home chef? What can you work on? What could you try?
I would say you can follow as many recipes as you like, and that's going to give you a good interpretation of how to cook. But at some point, you have to take off the steering wheels. Are they called steering wheels? Is that what it is? Yeah, the stabilizers that are next to your back wheel on a bike when you're 6 years old. At some point, you have to take them off and just be like, I'm going to try make something up myself.
Yeah.
So, find your favorite recipes and find food you love, and then start, getting a bit creative.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, this is great fun. I made this myself. I didn't follow Hercules' recipe.
Tried two things. I actually saw Gordon. He was at a amazing pizza restaurant in Italy, and he put like lemon curd on a pizza with icing sugar.
Wow, everyone must be furious.
Yeah, and with these, and then they were like, "Can we please put this on the menu?" But that's a great example of just trying something out of your comfort zone. I would never do that, but it's
Wow. Yeah.
it's cool. Hey, okay, so I have something that I'm interested to hear your take on this. So, are you across the whole like Whole Foods trend at the moment in terms of diet and fitness and health? Like people only eating whole foods?
I'm not going to say that I only eat Whole Foods. I'm not going to get up in my house and say that. But I am 100% aware of that, and I have been. I'm very conscious of it. Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's been a few years, right? Has it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes for myself, I actually really enjoy cooking, and I enjoy finding recipes and trying them and whatnot.
Yep.
But sometimes I feel like there's food I need to make to be healthy.
Yep.
And then there's food I make to impress people.
There you go. Yeah.
And I think that is definitely a thing. But is there a way to bring those together? Can you make yummy food healthy? Do you put much interest into like the nutritional value of food?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course you can make food. Yeah, a yummy food really healthy for sure. Look, I've just said I love pasta, and I'm about to say something sacrilegious, but there's pasta made from lentils and like legumes and things, which if your stomach can handle that, it's like full of protein, and whole foods, like just ground down.
Yeah.
That's really good. And I think look, there's so many diets that come and go. Maybe one lasts for 6 months, maybe one lasts for 2-3 years, trending everywhere. We're constantly looking to be told, what should I eat? And people look to like people on social media or big chefs or anyone or
Yeah.
influencers these
Yeah.
days being like, hey, what should I eat? What should I eat? And they're all being like, I eat this. Like, and you're like, what? You only eat like a bit of yogurt and some fruit for breakfast?
I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna do that. It's probably a lie though.
Yeah.
Also, so we're looking to be told what to do. Like, what we should be doing is get back in touch with your body and go, what makes you feel good?
Facts.
Because we're constantly looking to be told what to do. So just go,
Yeah.
try this, strip everything back, go back to the whole foods diet and go, there's no one here that's come up with this and been like, oh, you have to stay in ketosis, oh, you have to be paleo, oh, you have to be vegan. It might work for you, 100%. And if it does, then awesome. But my opinion on how to eat healthy and also delicious food is go back to basics, you know, strip it back.
Facts.
Strip it back. You're not trying to, and this is a good one, stop eating things out of a packet. Anything that comes in a packet, question it and go, is this a single ingredient? If it's a single ingredient, hell yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
But if it's got an ingredient that you don't know the name of,
Yeah.
and you can get really you can go over the top and get really into that and go, oh no, I can't have this, I don't know. Stop eating things out of a packet. Really easy. As your core, food, diet, as your basic diet.
Do you cook quite simple things when you don't
Yeah,
have to
big
cook
time.
like real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't eat like shit. Like a lot of chefs now, not now, but over the years generally have always been like,
Yeah.
I eat like shit.
Shit. Totally.
I'm very lucky I got out of that. You know,
Yeah.
like there
Were
were
you ever in that?
100%. When I was working in
Wow,
kitchens,
okay.
you'd do your 12 hours or something, and
you
maybe
just nom, nom, nom,
in the
nom.
middle you had like 10 minutes to get downstairs and be
Yeah,
like, I'm going to eat a
totally,
bunch of
eat
plate
whatever
of
you can.
chips,
Yeah.
and that's going to keep me going for the next
Yeah.
7 hours.
And in a kitchen too, surely they'd pump out little like extra things.
Yeah. So it's like that doesn't make sense to me at all. Yeah. Oh, there we go. My chickens are out, right on cue. Yeah.
Which chicken is that?
That's butter.
Love butter. She's looking slay. Who do you credit to helping you become a good cook?
Dad.
Dad.
Yeah, Dad. I mean, before all the stories about, watching people on TV, it was Dad for sure. Because, like I said, sitting next to the Arga and Dad going, hey, Herc, try this spaghetti, is it done? Dad's always been the chef in the family, so that's where it started. Yeah.
Are there traits in him that you feel you possess that helped you become as good as you are?
It's very nice of you to say, but probably, yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I can put my finger on them,
Yeah.
but 100%, yeah.
What do you think those traits would be? Like, what do you think the needed skill set is to really make it in food?
Look, you have to love it, obviously. Like anything, if your passion becomes your occupation, you can quickly fall out of love with it. And at times I've definitely fallen out of love with food, for sure. So it's just keeping a healthy balance, really. Like when I was working in kitchens, I would definitely say at times I didn't love food anymore. It was just a job. And the last thing I wanted to do was
Just
go
constantly work.
Yeah.
Is there a job that you took that didn't go to plan?
Yes.
Yeah?
For sure.
Yeah?
For sure. Look, without giving names or details away too much, there was a job that came up early last year, and they said in the middle of the year, do you want to come and work with us in this country in Europe for 2 weeks? And it was an opportunity that I thought, I should probably give this a go. And basically when I got there, I realized, and this is a big commitment to go from New Zealand. I was going to go to Europe anyway, but this is a big commitment to get there and then go, holy shit, I've signed up to 2 weeks of this.
Okay,
And
2 weeks. So
very
you got 2 weeks in Europe.
for it very quickly to be not what was promised. Oh no. Yeah. So had a very awful experience there, which was a moment where I was like, man, I got to be more careful. Hey.
What made it awful?
I guess without giving too much information away, I'd say the way I was treated.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a sort of, you are here to serve me.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit,
Not the one.
Yeah. Because at times as well, you get used to it. Like, especially, you know, I finished a big summer here and everyone was like, Hercules, you're the guy, you're great. And you're like, yeah, this is so awesome.
You feel really high on top.
Yeah. And then you go overseas and you do a job there and you're like, this went really, or maybe another one went really well. And you're like, great. And then you come across this thing and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm being treated like utter shit here.
Yeah.
And if this was these things were promised and not delivered, yeah, so that was a hell of an experience.
Is the vibes in different countries with food quite different? And in the food industry, you know, do you go to London and be like, oh, this is so British? Or in terms of how you're treated, or in terms of the landscape of it?
I don't know. I think it's more to do with wealth.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's when you're in a foreign country, you could work for people of the same level of wealth who might treat you well, but it's wealth and culture, depending on how people treat you. Yeah, and the hard part was that I was in a foreign country being treated badly.
Wow.
And so I was like,
it's so far from home.
yeah, if you're
So
home and
hard.
something like that happens here, you're like, oh, I can push through it and get around it. But over there, it was just a bit too much.
I understand that.
Yeah. But maybe it's a story I'd be happy to tell in like a few years' time sort of thing. But right now,
we're
it's a
back
bit
in
too
New Zealand
close.
And
And everyone loves me.
And I'm a really big dog and a really big deal. So something that it's like my biggest curiosity of life, and it's a big reason why I'm here right now and why I do what I do, is I am obsessed with excellent people, and I'm obsessed with how excellent people become excellent. So things like routines, mindsets, practices, things that keep you essentially productive. Able to operate to a high frequency, able to put things out, able to show up and work as hard as you do. I'm curious to get kind of a look into your brain and mindset with that. Can I ask you if you believe in manifestation, or if, to be less woo-woo, something like if goal setting is a big thing for you, affirmations, if you believe that there's, I don't know, or if you practice anything that helps you stay on track?
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned manifestation, and I feel like that word gets thrown around way too loosely. I'm manifesting this. You're not manifesting shit. You're wanting this and expecting it to fall on your lap.
Yes.
And being like, I'm manifesting this. It's bollocks.
Yeah.
Manifesting something is putting the foundations in place and like really going, I know what I want, or I know I'm capable of working really fucking hard, and I'm going to go in that direction, and beautiful things are going to come my way. So I don't say I manifest things, but I just work fucking hard.
And through that momentum, the right things come in.
Exactly, yeah. And if people want to say I manifest this and I manifested that, like by all means, if that works for you, but as long as you're not just saying I'm manifesting this.
Yeah, you're taking the action
I think
too.
there are too many people who do that, yeah.
Do you set goals for yourself?
I have goals for periods of time.
Yeah. Okay.
And look, it's the 9th of January, so we should be having our New Year's resolutions should be well forgotten by now. But I'm actually really enjoying trying to knuckle down on a couple of goals.
Yeah.
I'm not going, I have one for personal life, one for professional life, one for
Yes.
X, one for fitness. Because it's a lot to manage. And what's actually been nice having this New Year's period is going, oh, I've had some time off, which was, a bit of partying around the festive period.
Yeah.
But now I've had a week where I've gone, I can start to relax a bit, and before I get back into working consistently, I'll go, what do I really want? And there have been a few things that leave me feeling very excited. They are goals. Those goals are not completely confirmed. I don't have those 2 lines that are written down. I can go, this is my exact goal. And I'm not sure if I will, but I like the idea of there being like a theme that keeps running, and I sort of stick to that.
Steering the ship.
Steering the ship.
Steering
I love
the
that,
ship.
Cass. I love that. I know my direction, but I don't know this destination. I don't know that there's like the fucking treasure is right there. I know if I keep going on the ship, it's going to be right there.
Yeah.
And when I get there, or when I get there later than expected, it's a disappointment or whatever. You know, like I'm really enjoying taking this time off and going, I've got a new direction. And I think I kind of know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But you don't know 100%.
You kind of touched on this, so I hope you agree, but one thing that I really noticed in terms of success or productivity for myself is if I have one goal, if I'm on one main ship, I'll get it.
Yeah.
When the ship doesn't get it is when I'm going
Yeah,
broad.
yeah.
And
Oh
you
my
mentioned
goodness.
that with your
Yeah.
category of like one health goal,
Yes.
one yada yada goal.
Yes.
And I often think that when you're chasing your purpose or you've got your one direction or your ship's sailing, a lot of that little stuff just naturally hits.
Yes.
Because if you're being who you're born to be,
Big time.
you'll kind of naturally do the things like you go to the gym or you treat yourself well or you enforce the boundary or you eat the food and all these things that used to be like these little kind of goals.
Yeah.
Often just happen for me when I've got the
my
one
goodness.
purpose.
100%.
Yeah.
And when you're being like, all right, these are my 5 goals for the year. If you can really achieve those goals, then hell yeah.
Oh my
like
gosh,
you are
yeah.
a pretty amazing person.
You are.
Hats off to you. But it's like when I know, that's what's kind of tough about what I'm doing right now is that you're managing social media and also cooking for people and you're managing the 10 jobs I'm doing cooking for people this month and also the 3 paid promotions and then also the
It's a lot.
organic stuff. And you're going, oh my God, I've got like 15 things going at once and nothing's really getting completed. They're all like, this is the finish line and they're all just like, oh, you're kind of getting there. But once you get one thing done and another thing done, you're like, oh my God, it's, you get a bit of that that relief that like, yes, I've done this. Now I can focus on the next thing.
Yeah, it's like having a to-do list with 20 things or 3 things. If I give myself 3 non-negotiables in a day, I do them all.
Yep.
When I have the to-do list with 20, suddenly I'm in bed on TikTok.
Big time.
You know?
Hell yeah.
It's like a menu with too much to order off of.
Keep your menu simple.
Keep your menu simple.
Oh my goodness, I love that. That's so, yeah. Oh, that's
and
brilliant.
working backwards too, I like to really imagine myself at the end of this year and think if I looked back on those 12 months and there was one thing that I would just be like, oh, I'm so proud of myself, like I knocked that out of the park.
Yes.
What's the one thing? And then when you've got that, the whitewash is able to fall and you're able to hold everything up against that thing. Okay, this is my thing, and if nothing else happens apart from that, I'm stoked.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that, Cass. I really do. Yeah.
Do you have a word of the year? I always ask all my friends what their word of the year is.
No,
You don't
I
have a
do
word of the
not
year?
have a
theme
word of the year. Somewhat, yes. Like if you go back to maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I think it might have been, 2022, it was say yes to everything. Because, again, you don't know where an opportunity is going to lead.
Yeah.
And in the last year, maybe 18 months or so, I've gone to a point where I don't have to do that anymore, which is great. And you go, there was a year last year of take more time to yourself. Because you're like, oh, sweet, I've come to the end of a really hectic 5 months of summer and I've worked so much and look, the bank account's looking great and I've done some big jobs, fantastic. But fuck, where was my social life?
Yeah.
So the theme for this year, potentially, this is the first time I'm sort of saying it out loud, but like this is somewhat linked to my goal.
Yeah.
It's, I've said this a couple of times in my head, it's work smarter, not harder, which is nothing new. I'm not going to be like, here's my new line. It's just, there's nothing new there. But
Here's my new line.
yeah, guys, I'm about to change your lives. Work smarter, not harder. I've always been like a very hard worker, and I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy getting to the end of a job and being like, hell yeah, man, we did that, and we did that so well. That is such a good feeling. But I'm getting to a point where I want to go, okay, what can I do to, and it's mostly sort of financial, so that I can give myself a bit more freedom.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, like, my social life still struggles,
100%. Well, to get ahead, you almost have to be obsessed, right?
Exactly, yeah.
You've got to dominate before you can. Dominate is beyond win.
Yes.
You've got to dominate, and then you can step back to winning.
Yeah,
You know, and it does take that moment of full obsession.
Yes.
And other things do sacrifice.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, a lot of sacrifices along the way. Hey,
Yeah.
a lot of losses and things like that. But yeah, I'm turning 30 this year as well, in 6 months' time, which is not like, oh my God, it's like, no, that means I come to the end of like, fucking do everything in your 20s. Try everything. Say yes to these things. Go there, do this. You don't know where these opportunities are going to go. And I'm like, no, I'm actually naturally coming to a point where I have just like, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I have confidence in what I'm doing and who I am and like the direction I'm going. So it's a very exciting year for me. It's a very exciting potential next 5 years or so,
How good is that feeling? Like what you just said, being able to sit back and go, I know who I am.
Oh my God, we spend the whole 20s being like, what
well done for that in that sentence. Because I think your whole 20s is trialing. Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? Who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? The whole time. And it's almost like, I remember one of my friends said to me, she said, the universe gives me what I want to show me how well I don't know myself.
I like that. Yeah.
And I think in my 20s,
I thought I wanted this.
I thought I
got
wanted
it.
this. I thought I needed that. A lot of material things.
Yeah.
And then when you strip it back and you're able to find out who you are at your core.
Yes. Love
Incredible feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. When you mentioned, do you have any rituals or things earlier?
Yeah.
Something that I do a lot of is, and I'm not going to get on my high horse again and be like, I meditate for X amount of hours a day, or for half an hour, whatever. No, I generally try and start my day by jumping in the shower, getting outside. If I work out, great. If not, I go sit out there if I'm home, and I open up Balance, which is a meditation app, and I do 5 minutes if I'm in a rush. If I'm not in a rush, I do 10 minutes of deep breathing. And it's not like visualize your goals for the day. If you want to do that, by all means. I should get better at organizing my day for sure. But it's take time to yourself first thing in the morning. So it's not open your phone up and be like, oh, that post that I did last night didn't get as much, or oh, fuck, I've got to get this in by 10 o'clock this morning. It's go outside and go 4 seconds in, 7 second hold, 8 seconds out. And there are times when I'm like, this is the last thing I want to do. But you go out there and you do it, and you might get to 5 minutes and you're like, oh, where did that go? I feel like I wasn't thinking about anything.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I'm thinking about what's going to happen today, but I've taken the time. It's like there's nothing else distracting me. You know what? Do you have shower thoughts?
Yeah.
Ideas that come to you and you're like, hold on, turn the shower off, get the towel, write it down on your phone. Or you're like, Siri, open notes. Because it's when you have nothing in front of you, you're not with anyone, you're not on your phone, you're not working. That's when you're like, oh, I've got a bit of time to think. And I sit out there, especially if it's a beautiful day. If it's pissing down, I'll sit right here. But I'll sit out there and the sun comes up there. I feel I'm so incredibly lucky to have that space right there.
It's stunning.
Which I've turned into a tiny little oasis. It's fantastic. And I sit there and I just do that and I'm like, great start to the day. You know? Oh, I'm not concerned about anything else really. And it gives you a nice little
moment.
Yeah.
I think meditation too, I don't know if you'll agree with this, but for myself, that is where I get my greatest advice. Because it comes from me in terms of connecting to your power and yourself and how you're going to govern your life, and just not letting that clutter come in, especially first thing, like show the world that you come first before everything. Crucial.
Which is so ridiculous that we have to remind ourselves of that.
But we do.
It's so ridiculous, hey? So, yeah.
Do you have I was actually really interested in your morning and night routine, which you've touched on. Take us through like a little classic morning. So you've mentioned outside and meditation. Give me all the details. Like I'm a weirdo. Like I'm like, do you brush your teeth when you first wake up?
No. So if so start of the day, let's try and run through it quite quickly. I'll give you what my day looks like in the last month or two, because it changes all the time. Generally, the way work goes when it's not the height of summer, which is 3 months. Basically, the height of summer, there's 4 months where it's just chaos. It's just go, and you're sort of just, all right, what's the next thing? Okay, get it done. Now the next thing. But what I do is I'll wake up between the hours of 7 to 8:30, depending on how late I worked last night or what I did last night. I will get up, I will generally jump right in the shower. My shower takes about 45 seconds to heat up. So I go, great, I'll get in there and that's my short cold shower. People are like, have your cold shower after your hot shower because that's gonna give you the best benefits. I don't give a shit. That's what I wanna do. I'm gonna go in, I turn it on. I go, oh shit. It gets warm, I brush my teeth, I come out. I'll usually put my nice Missoni dressing gown on and then I'll sit out there, do that little bit of meditation.
What was that app called again?
Balance.
Balance.
Yeah, honestly, try Balance, it's fantastic.
Has like a little timer or something, or like a gong or like a...
Exactly, it just, exactly.
Nice.
It walks you through it. There's so many options. You can do ones where it talks you through, and you can do ones that like appreciation, gratitude, always, occasionally I will do that when I'm being a bit like, oh, things are a bit shit. And you're feeling sorry, because at times you feel sorry for yourself.
Always.
And then, little bits and pieces like that just help bring you back. So I generally just do my deep breathing. I sit out there. As I mentioned before, there's a chicken in my back garden. I've actually got 6 chickens in the back garden. So I'll feed them all, which it's just a nice thing to do in the morning.
It is.
You know?
Salt of the earth.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
grew up with chickens around me when I was younger.
Aww.
So it's like a very comforting thing.
Yeah.
And they're low maintenance. Like, oh my goodness, so low maintenance.
That's good.
Yeah. So,
You can't see Boris, but Boris is there. He's
yeah. Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson.
We'll insert a photo here and you'll see why it's called Boris Johnson. For any of you who know who Boris Johnson is.
Pick him up at the end.
Yeah.
Because we're feeding the chickens.
Yep.
We've meditated. We've had a 45-second cold shower.
Yeah, then it's basically, if I'm busy, it's walk into the kitchen and be like, right, I either need to start shooting something or I need to start prepping for a job tomorrow. If I have time, and I have a lot more time now that I have a fantastic assistant, that allows me to go, oh, you know what, I'll go for a workout this morning. So I'll do that before.
Gym guy.
Pardon? Oh, you know what?
You look you're fit.
I'm jacked, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you like working out? Are you a strength?
I actually quit my gym membership over 6 months ago because I've been traveling a hell of a lot in the last year.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is I've actually invested in gymnastics rings, which you can take with you anywhere. They weigh 3 kilos, the two of them together. It's 2 wooden rings with straps either side. You just got to find a tree. So when I've been overseas working, always with me in my suitcase, find a tree, throw them over, do a big variation of workouts.
Cool.
And I do that. Yeah, so if I had time in the morning, I'll go to the Domain, which is so close to my house. There's a fantastic branch that comes off a big Moreton Bay fig, and I throw them over. Sometimes I'll play music, sometimes I won't.
Yeah.
And I'll do a bit of a workout. If I don't have that much time, I've got a few dumbbells here, I've got a few kettlebells, I've got some parallel bars, and I'll just work out here.
Very cool.
Yeah, because I enjoyed going to the gym, but I didn't really. There was also something about like the darkness of it, and yeah, I didn't like it's all dark, and I didn't like. I don't know. I didn't like. I love working out outside is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay.
It's great. It's so
do you
good.
do handstands and stuff?
I can't do handstands, but I can do muscle ups, which is pretty dope.
What's a muscle up?
It's where you do a pull up, but you do like overhand grip. So you pull up to there. Most people stop there. You go over and you push up.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. It's pretty crazy.
Is it like calisthenics?
Calisthenics.
Is it?
Kind of, yeah, but I can't do like the really hardcore shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm a big gym girl.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Gym and Pilates girl.
Yeah. So signed up to ClassPass.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic.
ClassPass goes hard.
Done. So that's my gym membership in a sense. So it's like wherever I am in the world or
and
whatever I want to go to.
Anywhere.
It's incredible.
It's
such
funny.
a good idea.
I think when I first started going to Pilates, I was like, how are people affording this?
Yeah. Oh my
god. It's like
god.
one class like $40, and I was like, what are the girls doing?
Yeah.
Absolutely missing out.
And then I see on their social media that they're another one as well. You're like, mate, how many subscriptions are you? Memberships
you're
do
like
you
a
have?
literal millionaire.
Yeah.
And it's ClassPass.
Yeah.
It's all ClassPass.
Yes, big time.
So being in your beautiful space, I think when I first came in here, I was so in awe and inspired. And I think anybody who sees it online or has the pleasure of coming in would be. Anything from the beautiful oven, chickens, just how things are set out, and being a creative yourself. I'm really interested in how you live a creative life, I guess. What inspires your creativity? Do you need certain things for creativity? And also if your space reflects
your space is like pivotal. Yeah. Look, people love a white marble bench, white walls, simple stainless steel fridge, whatever, and basic white pots, monotone, whatever. Like so many houses I cook in that are absolutely stunning, incredible. I love that as well. But I was brought up around what I would call organized chaos, which is probably again stems from my mum. Because, you know, in interiors, she loves beautiful things and she sort of puts all these things from different parts of the world together and they somehow end up working. So in my house now, I have all these incredible pieces of furniture from my parents' old Italian furniture store that they used to have 20 years ago. I have things that I find in op shops or, you know, junk stores. And they kind of just tend to work a little bit. And they, like, the environment I work in, I work from home, I shoot content from home, I cook from home, is hugely inspiring, for sure. When it comes to getting inspired for maybe content, I follow a few really awesome content creators who I absolutely love. That is mostly cooking. Obviously, there's probably about 5 chefs that I can name. And then there are also people whose fashion I love, and I follow you for that, and I go like, man, I love what you do. You inspire me to dress in a certain way, and it's.
Yeah, so it's absorbing the right people online, makes an impact.
Exactly, yeah. Again, which is why social media can be an incredible tool.
Yeah.
Don't follow the accounts, follow some meme accounts by all means.
Yeah, but also follow really cool people who are doing
shit
cool
that's
stuff.
inspiring you, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
Yeah, and save things. I have a few folders. You do the same thing.
Organized saving.
I have a fashion one, I have a food one,
Yeah.
I have a content one.
Saving's
I love
massive.
I love the way this person
Organization.
shot this particular content.
Yeah.
Save that.
Yeah.
I love the way that person plated that thing. Save that. I love that as a concept for a dish. Save that. I love the way that person dressed. I save that. Great.
Do you have a favorite food creator or a couple you could shout out? Just people who
Hell
do
yeah.
cool stuff?
Yeah. A couple other big inspirations from the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So the person who inspired the Will It Sourdough series, and when I thought, I've got to do something different and unique, was a chef called Thomas Straker, British. Fantastic. I went to his restaurant last year in Notting Hill in London. It's absolutely fantastic. It's all the food that he does on social media. But he did a series called He did a series called All Things Butter.
All Things Butter.
Yeah, which
Cool.
you probably would have come across. He ran it a couple of years ago, and that blew him up massively on the internet. And it's welcome back to episode 24 of All Things Butter, and it's doing like a nice quenelle
I've
spoon
seen
and
it,
butter.
I've seen it, I've seen
This
it, I've seen
is
it.
like chicken
Yes.
masala butter, and you're
Yes,
like,
yes.
what? And he like puts all the ingredients in there, and then spreads it on a bit of toast, and it's
I've
just like,
seen
damn. And you're
that.
like, man, that looks fantastic. And he shows you how he makes it. Simple.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat. How many fucking dishes are in the world that he can turn
into
into
butter.
So. Yeah, so that was a big inspiration.
Cool.
Then there's a fantastic chef I follow on social media, but also mostly on YouTube, he makes incredible content. He's funny, he's personable, but the recipes that he makes are also like, oh shit, they're really good. And that inspires my food. And that's Joshua Wiseman.
Joshua Wiseman.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
many cool
American
people
guy.
doing things.
Yeah, so follow those people.
Follow the people.
Follow the people that are going to inspire you and do
Hell
something
yeah.
fun.
Hell yeah. And have a cool creative space and like welcome in colour. I'm such a colour girl.
Yeah.
yeah.
I said to Cass before we recorded,
Yeah.
I was like, what did you say? You said, what am I going to wear to the tennis? Or something
go
like
to the tennis after this.
what's everyone wearing at the tennis? And I was like, everyone's wearing beige. And she's like, oh shit, I'm wearing blue. And I was like, dude, are you kidding? Like, that's what we expect from Cass. Like, I've never seen you wear anything boring.
No.
Or basic, I should say.
No. So, and like, that's great. Be who you are. And I think with your space, you really represent that. It's just like lean into your personality and let it be fashion and space be an expression of yourself. It's really cool.
Yeah, but I'm so lucky to be brought up in an environment with that.
Yeah, your parents sound awesome.
Yeah.
Hang out with your parents.
Yeah. Interview them next.
They're on the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a whole bunch of questions from the audience. I'm going to get Herc to just rattle through these, fire these off.
Rapid fire.
There were so many, so these are kind of summarized. All right. You ready? Have a drink of water and prepare yourself.
Okay.
Worst thing you have sourdough'd?
Full English breakfast. Baked beans, sausages, eggs, rosti, whatever, a tomato, black pudding.
All in one sourdough?
Yeah, revolting. But
Baked beans?
Yeah, I know. But I made a redemption video and brought it back a few weeks later, and everyone was like, "Holy shit, he turned it around and made it amazing." So, yeah.
Oh, I think I maybe saw that. That's really gross. What are the top 3 worst dishes that other people think are good?
Ooh.
Like hyped dishes.
Bro, that's so harsh. Can you throw some dish ideas at me?
Like a kingfish crudo.
You hate that?
No, but or what about like those baked cheeses? Or like burrata? Or
Man.
So I'm gonna tell Herc trending food and he can tell me if it's a go or not. Firstly, the feta pasta from TikTok.
Oh, yeah. That, never did it, but it would be delicious.
Really?
Yep, I'm sure.
Okay. Iced tomato. So like
Frozen tomato grated.
Yeah, frozen tomato grated.
Again, never had it, but it would be fantastic. You can do it with peaches as well. Any fruit.
This is actually a really funny one. Vicky will rate this.
Okay.
Sleepy girl mocktail.
What that?
Cherry
What that?
cherry juice, salsa, and a scoop of magnesium.
Look,
Did you want to make that? My deadass made it and it made me sleep.
It's
Sleepy
gone
girl
downhill,
mocktail.
Gas.
Ramen carbonara.
What, carbonara?
Ramen
Yeah, that would be
carbonara.
delicious. I'm sure that would be delicious.
That would be nice.
Yep.
Cereal milk latte.
Cereal milk. Oh my God, I hate cereal milk. That was a trend a couple of years ago. I was like, who the fuck are you? Like, are you 4 years old?
And last one, lasagna soup.
Sounds revolting. Sounds weird.
Top 3 best restaurants in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Can we say Auckland?
Yeah, Auckland.
Okay. Top 3 best restaurants in Auckland. I'd say Ada, Mr. Morris, and best is so hard. Like my favorites.
Top 3 great ones.
Top 3, yeah, it's okay. Top 3 favorite restaurants in Auckland. I'd say Ada, Peachy, and Mr. Morris.
Literally never heard of Peachy in my life.
You've not heard of Peachy?
Nah, I'm not gonna lie.
That's criminal.
Where is it?
It's on K Road. Do you like pasta?
Yes.
Oh my god, you need to go and try their cacio e pepe.
Okay. Favorite backyard chicken and why?
That's so harsh, man. Don't make me select a favorite. It's Yara Sponson. Insert photo of Yara Sponson right here.
Insert photo of Yara Sponson. Will Herc eventually do a focaccia series?
No. There's already 2 people who have started doing Willet Focaccia, and I see that and I'm like, hell yeah, maybe I inspired you. That's cool, but they've done that. But I will do 2 new Willet series, so stay tuned for them.
If Herc was a sourdough, what ingredients would he add to assemble himself?
That's fucking stupid.
What would you put in? A chicken?
How dare you? What do you think, Cass?
A chicken, some pasta, like a cool vintagey kind of style but clean shirt. Maybe like a fun fruity like drink or jug.
Some like wide leg pants.
Yes, some something fashionable.
It won't be edible.
Your Mercedes Benz. And maybe like your beard.
It's a nice beard.
Do you know your astrology chart and do you relate to it?
No, I know that I'm a Gemini, but I think it's complete and utter bollocks.
It makes so much sense. If you could have a beer with any chef, dead or alive, who would it be?
Look, I've already said it. It'd be Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie's coming for a beer.
Yeah.
With Boris Johnson and butter.
Yeah, hell yeah. But like a big old beer, because I've got a lot of questions. You know what I mean? Like I want to ask this man things. I just want to talk to this man. Yeah.
Final question for you is the people were interested to hear your take on university and your experience.
A question to sign off with. Look, I went to a school that was very much like, go to university. This is the right thing for you. Sorry, we went to a school that was like, that's a good thing. That's the right thing for you. And look, if your profession that you want to do requires a degree, by all means. But my experience is go out and do it in real life.
Yeah.
Don't pay someone who potentially was really good back in the day or a failed version of that to be like, this is how you do that when you could work for someone else. If you want to become a doctor, learn how to do it. If you want to become a lawyer.
Yeah, time and place.
Yeah, but for what I wanted to do, did I want to go to cooking school? People were like, did you go to cooking school? I'm like, no, I didn't go to cooking school. By all means, I could have learned how to make all the sauces. They're great, but I preferred to go and work in the kitchen.
That's what I wish. I really wish someone told me there was more choices of things that I could learn. You know, I actually literally thought the options were medicine, law, business.
Yeah.
And it was my dad who said there's a BA.
Yeah.
But even beyond that, there's like acting, there's all these other things.
For sure, yeah. And especially like, look, if you know this is what you want to do, go and do that. But so many people come out of university and like, oh my God, I do not want to do this profession now or whatever. So if it works for you, by all means, didn't need it.
Well, thank you for your time today.
Cass, thank you for having me.
It's been so much fun.
Yeah, it's been good.
Where can everybody find you and what can they expect from you this year?
What can I expect from you this year?
Yeah. More Instagram, more sourdough?
A lot more Instagram. Well, you know, the sourdough will remain, but like I said, a couple more Willet series. I want to sit down now that I've got a bit more time off and sort of rethink about my year, my year, what I can offer. I want to start up a subscription service for sure where I start sharing my recipes. I share so few of my recipes and people are like, where do I get this recipe? Where do I get that? And I'm like, dude, I don't have the time to write this down.
Yeah.
And also, all the content I put out is for free.
I know.
So I'm here being like, yo, I can't do all this extra stuff for free. I love the success that it gives me, the opportunity it gives me, but I'll start offering my sourdoughs. All my recipes for a really
patty recipes.
Yeah, exactly, for all my simple recipes. Yeah.
There we go. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being on Sass with Cass.
Cass, thank you for having me.
So we could have done that for hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so bye to the team. Bye team.
Bye team.
Bye team.
There we go.
Done.
Nice work.
Well done.